Everything you thought was predictable about your life is on the brink of a massive shakeup. Forces you can't see are about to orchestrate an extraordinary financial shift that most people would never even believe. Yes, it's going to happen quicker than you imagine, almost as if the universe has flicked a switch, pouring prosperity directly into your path. You might feel a jolt of disbelief, but keep listening because the next few moments could hand you the exact blueprint you've been craving. And guess what? This isn't reserved for some chosen elite. It has your name written all over it. That's why you can't skip a single moment of what's to come. There's a hidden key embedded in these next steps, and if you miss it, you'll wonder for the rest of your life what might have been. So do this right now. Like this channel, subscribe to Wisdom Dynamics, and drop the number 77 in the comments. That signals the universe you're ready to receive. Then watch this video on repeat, soaking in every ounce of energy it carries. By the time you've absorbed what's about to unfold, you won't just feel different, you'll be different. Chapter 1. The Awakening of Fortune. What if everything you ever assumed about wealth was just a tiny sliver of the truth? Imagine a vast reservoir of prosperity hovering around you, waiting for one precise moment to pour into your reality. That moment, believe it or not, starts the instant you accept that such a transfer is even possible. For years, you might have operated under the weight of societal programming, telling you that wealth arrives only after decades of grueling work. In this narrative, you trade your time, your energy, your dreams, just to scrape by. But once you crack that old belief, everything shifts. Wealth, in its purest form, is an energy. It's no more solid than your thoughts or emotions. Sure, it takes the shape of money, assets, property, but at its core, it's a flow of possibility that can show up in your life in infinite ways. The secret for you to understand is that once your energy aligns with abundance, the physical counterpart, the money, begins to appear. It isn't magical thinking. It's the subtle interplay between your mindset, your intentions, and the universal currents that respond to your frequency. So how do you awaken this fortune? Start by questioning every fact you've been told about wealth. Do you truly believe you're destined to struggle? Or is that just a narrative you inherited from parents, teachers, or peers who themselves were trapped in scarcity? Challenging these assumptions might feel unsettling, but realize it's only the first step to dismantling mental chains you never agreed to in the first place. Once those chains loosen, you sense a kind of spaciousness, as though you've opened a window in a stuffy room, letting in a rush of fresh possibility. Now let's talk about your role in this. You're not a passive recipient, sitting around hoping for a random windfall. The cosmic blueprint for wealth demands action, but not frantic, anxious action. Instead, your actions must be inspired, guided by an inner compass that points you toward opportunities resonating with your new energetic state. It's like tuning a radio dial. Once you find the right frequency, the channel of sudden wealth becomes clear. You notice ideas pop into your head, or you stumble upon connections that open doors you never knew existed. One overlooked aspect is the power of your environment. Surround yourself with people and content that remind you of abundance. If you're perpetually hanging around complainers or indulging in media that says the world is doomed, your mind absorbs those low vibration messages. Soon you'll doubt the very possibility of a wealth transfer. On the flip side, immersing yourself in stories of success, reading about breakthroughs, or simply spending time in places that reflect prosperity can anchor your belief that abundance is real, and it can happen for you. Above all, remain open. A sudden wealth transfer might not appear in the shape you predict. Perhaps you envision a new business skyrocketing, but the universe delivers a lucrative collaboration or an unexpected inheritance. Stay flexible. When your energy says yes to abundance, it can arrive through any number of channels. Dismissing possibilities just because they deviate from your original plan could block the very miracle you've been calling in. Curiosity is your ally here. Ask questions, listen for nudges, that fleeting idea in the shower, jot it down, that random conversation with a stranger that sparks your imagination. Look deeper. Often these subtle prompts act like breadcrumbs leading you toward your greatest fortune. Each time you follow a hunch or investigate a lead, you strengthen your alignment with the flow of wealth. And what if doubts creep in, whispering that sudden wealth is unrealistic or selfish? Understand that genuine abundance hurts no one. In fact, it empowers you to give more, share more, and uplift others around you. Scarcity fosters fear and competition, but true wealth fosters generosity and expansion. If you're truly aligned with this higher principle, your gain becomes a ripple effect of good in the world. Recognizing that your sudden wealth can benefit others helps dissolve any lingering guilt or unworthiness. Ultimately, the awakening of fortune isn't about chasing money. It's about realizing that abundance is already your birthright. Picture a grandeur that's been locked only because you believed it was. Now you discover the key is in your pocket. Will you turn it? Once you do, you realize the door wasn't locked from the universe's side at all. It was only locked from within your beliefs. Step through, and you'll feel that rush of energy telling you this is only the beginning of something momentous. Chapter 2. The Spiritual Mechanics of Wealth. When people discuss money, they rarely connect it to spirituality. But what if the two realms are closer than we think? Abundance transcends bank statements or material possessions. It resonates with the very fabric of your soul's journey. The question is, how do you access it? If you're imagining robed gurus chanting over wads of cash, think again. The spiritual mechanics of wealth are subtle, yet profoundly real. First, consider the principle of reciprocity. Many spiritual traditions emphasize giving as a pathway to abundance. But this isn't a moralistic rule. It's an energetic law. The universe tends to mirror your internal state. If you give freely, time, resources, or kindness, without clinging to scarcity, you broadcast a signal of, I have enough. That signal ricochets through universal consciousness, often returning as unexpected opportunities or blessings. Conversely, if you hoard or operate from greed, you broadcast a signal of I lack, and the universe simply echoes back more lack. Another key mechanism is alignment. Think about when you felt truly in the zone, moments where everything just clicked, as though external circumstances bent to your will. That's alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions locking onto the same target. In the context of wealth, alignment means your financial goals harmonize with your core values and your deepest purpose. You might long for sudden riches, but if, deep down, you believe that money is corrupting or that wealthy people are immoral, you create internal conflict. The spiritual grid responds to your most authentic vibration, not just your words or superficial desires. Also remember that life isn't a random jumble. Patterns exist, cycles repeat, and you're part of a grand cosmic dance. When a sudden wealth transfer is destined for you, it often aligns with a bigger plan, one that extends beyond just personal gain. Perhaps your role is to finance a community project, support family members in crisis, or maybe the wealth sets you on a new path, unlocking talents you never realized you had. Tuning into these broader currents can accelerate the flow of financial blessings because you're not just seeking money for yourself. You're co-creating with a cosmic purpose. Visualization amplifies this synergy. You've likely heard of manifesting or the law of attraction, but the spiritual mechanics extend beyond simply imagining what you want. True visualization is a heart-centered process. You don't just see the money in your hands, you feel the relief, the gratitude, the excitement as if it's already manifested. This emotional charge imprints a blueprint onto your subconscious mind, which then influences your actions, your confidence, and ultimately your results. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined scenarios, so it begins to shift your reality to match the picture you hold in your mind. Spiritual mechanics also invite you to purge hidden blockages. Sometimes old wounds or karmic ties weigh you down. Maybe you harbor resentment toward a friend who once owed you money or bitterness toward your family's financial situation growing up. These unresolved emotions become energetic anchors, preventing you from sailing freely into abundance. Engaging in forgiveness, both for others and yourself, acts like cutting those anchors loose. Suddenly, your ship can glide across the sea of possibilities, unencumbered. A lesser-known aspect of spiritual wealth is the concept of divine timing. You might do all the right things, visualize, align, give generously, yet the breakthrough doesn't come on your preferred schedule. The universe might be orchestrating details beyond your line of sight, preparing you for a moment when everything clicks perfectly. Patience becomes a virtue, not a passive waiting game, but an active trust in a bigger design. Impatience can lead to forced actions or desperation, which repel wealth rather than attract it. So hold your vision, keep your energy clean, and trust that what's meant for you can't miss you. An unexpected result of engaging spiritual mechanics is that your relationship with money evolves. It stops being just a means to pay bills or measure success. Money becomes a sacred tool, a channel for expression, freedom, and co-creation with the universe. You realize that wealth can amplify the best in you if you remain conscious. With more resources, you can help more people, explore more of your passions, and live more authentically. This perspective shift is crucial because it dissolves fear and guilt around money, replacing them with responsibility and empowerment. Finally, let's talk about faith, the quiet confidence that something greater moves through you. Faith isn't naive optimism. It's a deep knowing that given your alignment with spiritual principles, the universe inevitably supports you. It might not always show up in the form you expect, but if you stay open and flexible, you'll catch the wealth wave when it arrives. And in those moments of doubt, which will surface occasionally, remember the times life exceeded your expectations before. Use those memories as anchor points, reminding yourself that miracles happen and that you're more deserving of them than you've ever let yourself believe. Chapter 3. Exposing the myths around quick riches. If you've ever typed "get rich quick" into a search engine, you've probably seen a sea of scams, false promises, and inflated success stories. It's easy to become jaded. Sudden wealth conjures images of lottery wins or pyramid schemes that only end in disappointment. But real quick riches, those orchestrated by universal laws rather than shady internet deals, can and do occur. The key is telling the difference between illusions and genuine shifts in prosperity. One major myth is that you can skip the inner work. People jump into random ventures hoping for a rapid payout, but their underlying beliefs and emotions sabotage them. You might see this scenario play out. Someone invests in a sure thing only to panic and sell when a minor fluctuation occurs. Fear drives them to make decisions that cause losses rather than gains. True sudden wealth might appear externally as a windfall, but behind every real success story is an internal transformation, an upgrade in mindset, perspective, and emotional control. Another pervasive myth is that only a lucky few can experience dramatic financial leaps. That outlook stems from a scarcity mentality. While not everyone experiences a $1 million opportunity overnight, the universe doesn't ration wealth the way society does. The path to sudden prosperity might vary. For some, it's about discovering a lucrative niche market. For others, an inheritance at just the right moment, or a creative spark that leads to viral success. Each scenario might look different on the surface, but at their core, they're all about alignment, preparation, and seizing the moment when it arrives. The wait till it happens mindset is another pitfall. People sit back, hoping the universe will drop a treasure chest on their doorstep. But the cosmic flow respects momentum. It's easier to steer a moving car than one parked with the engine off. Even if you don't have a perfect plan, small, inspired steps create opportunities for wealth to find you. It's often in the process of doing, whether that's networking, experimenting with side gigs, or honing a skill, that the golden doors swing open. Waiting passively usually keeps you stuck in the realm of wishful thinking, far from actual financial shifts. Society also pushes the myth that you must accumulate wealth gradually, step by step, climbing an invisible ladder. This linear view can feel suffocating if you're destined for a more exponential path. Look at the stories of tech entrepreneurs, entertainers, or even everyday people who made a crucial discovery. Their fortunes sometimes skyrocketed in a fraction of the time society deems normal. They didn't break the rules of reality, they just tapped into a different blueprint, one where leaps rather than steps defying progress. Let's confront the fear that sudden wealth is unsustainable. There are cautionary tales, lottery winners who go bankrupt, or celebrities who lose fortunes due to poor choices? While these examples exist, they point to the importance of financial literacy, emotional maturity, and spiritual grounding. If you suddenly find yourself with a large sum of money, continuing old self-sabotaging habits or ignoring wise counsel can drain that resource. But if you approach your new wealth as a steward rather than a lucky gambler, you can grow and sustain it. The difference lies in your mindset and willingness to keep learning. One subtle myth is that quick riches must be purely financial. Yet sometimes the wealth transfer you receive is knowledge, relationships, or strategic alliances that eventually translate into money. You might meet a mentor who turns your entire perspective around, or you could gain access to a platform that skyrockets your reach. These intangible riches might precede the tangible money, but are no less critical. Recognize that wealth can arrive in many forms before it transforms into digits in your bank account. Be mindful, too, of the myth that once you've made it, you can relax forever. Reality is dynamic. What's here today can vanish if not nurtured. Sudden wealth isn't a license to become complacent. It's an invitation to expand further, evolve your impact, and share your blessings responsibly. If you approach this new level as a foundation for greater growth, you'll keep riding the wave of abundance. But if you treat it as a finish line, you risk stagnation, and that can unravel your gains. So how do you dissolve these myths for good? Begin with critical thinking and self-honesty. Check in with your motivations. Are you chasing a fantasy because you hate your current situation, or are you truly open to a miraculous shift backed by effort and wisdom? Inspect your beliefs about what's possible. Are they shaped by fear, envy, or cynicism, or by a genuine openness to life's infinite possibilities? Answering these questions clarifies your path, helping you avoid traps and align with authentic sudden wealth. Remember, illusions crumble under scrutiny, while genuine opportunities grow stronger the more you explore them. Chapter 4. Aligning with the right opportunities. One of the biggest blocks to attracting sudden wealth is the misconception that you must say yes to every opportunity. Believing you have to grab every passing chance can scatter your energy, leading you down half-baked paths that yield minimal results. The reality? Not every door is meant for you. True alignment means sifting through possibilities to find the ones that resonate with your unique talents, values, and sense of purpose. When you strike that perfect balance, wealth can flow into your life with astounding velocity. To begin, get crystal clear on what you actually want. This might sound elementary, but many people chase opportunities without understanding the deeper why behind them. Is your end goal simply more money, or do you desire freedom, a creative outlet, or a chance to serve a bigger cause? Pinpoint the experiences, feelings, and outcomes that you crave, because that clarity acts like a magnet, pulling in the right resources. Otherwise, you'll dabble in random pursuits that might bring a quick thrill, but do little for your long-term fulfillment. Intuition is your secret weapon. When you encounter a prospective venture, pause and sense your internal response. Does your heart flutter with excitement, or do you feel a heaviness in your gut? Does the idea align with your natural strengths, or would it demand you force yourself into a role you hate? Checking in with your intuition helps you weed out mismatched paths before investing time or money. This isn't about being inflexible. Sometimes a challenge can spark growth, but there's a difference between healthy challenges and soul-deadening tasks that make you dread waking up every morning. Also consider timing. An opportunity can be golden for someone else, or at another stage in your life, but disastrous for you right now. Perhaps you still need to develop certain skills or finish healing emotional wounds that could otherwise sabotage your success. Or maybe you're perfectly ready, but the universal puzzle pieces are still shifting into place. Rushing an ill-timed opportunity can break it, while patiently preparing yourself ensures that, when the right moment arrives, you're fully equipped. Networking plays a pivotal role, but it should go beyond superficial business card swaps. True networking involves a mutual exchange of value and the willingness to build genuine relationships. Are you connecting with people who challenge and inspire you, or simply collecting names in hopes of a shortcut to money? Seek mentors who have walked a path similar to the one you envision. Surround yourself with peers who share your work ethic and positive outlook. And when you find yourself in a position to help someone else, do it. The synergy of giving and receiving fosters a supportive network that thrives on collective success. Another point of alignment is your environment, both physical and mental. If your workspace is cluttered or you constantly hear negative news in the background, it can dampen your creative spark and drain your motivation. Make a conscious effort to design an environment that lifts your spirit. Play music that energizes you. Keep your space orderly enough that you can focus, and limit exposure to media that feeds pessimism. This might seem small, but each element of your surroundings either magnifies or muffles your capacity to recognize and seize the right opportunities. Avoid the trap of comparing your journey to others. You might see someone else land a massive contract or watch a friend's business explode overnight. Comparison often leads to self-doubt or jealousy, which can sabotage your energetic alignment. Instead, celebrate others' successes as proof that the wealth realm is abundant. Their wins don't diminish your potential, they highlight what's possible. Let those stories inspire you to stay patient, committed, and optimistic that your breakthrough moment is just as achievable. Once you've filtered opportunities through the lens of purpose, intuition, timing, and environment, commit wholeheartedly. Half-hearted effort rarely produces sudden wealth. If you say yes, give it your all. Dive into learning every aspect of that venture, adapt when needed, and hold yourself accountable. Cultivate a mindset of excellence rather than mediocrity. People and opportunities naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate reliability, creativity, and a willingness to do what it takes. That level of commitment differentiates the dabblers from those who achieve remarkable results. Keep an open channel for divine inspiration. Sometimes alignment shows up as coincidences that guide you to a hidden gem. Maybe a casual conversation reveals a vacant position that aligns perfectly with your skill set, or a friend invites you to a gathering where you meet a future collaborator. Synchronicities flourish when you're tuned into your purpose and genuinely ready to expand. Notice these seemingly random clues because they're often cosmic breadcrumbs leading you towards sudden wealth. Ultimately, aligning with the right opportunities is about being discerning and brave enough to pass on the wrong ones. It requires self-knowledge, a supportive environment, and an ongoing dialogue with your intuition. As you refine your approach, you'll find that the path to sudden wealth feels less like a chaotic scramble and more like a finely orchestrated symphony, one where each note plays exactly in the moment it's meant to, creating a crescendo that ushers in the abundance you've been envisioning all along. Chapter 5. Your Mindset, the Gatekeeper of Abundance. We often overlook the fact that the mind can either be a palace or a prison. Your thoughts shape how you perceive and interact with every financial opportunity that crosses your path. If you're constantly telling yourself you're broke, unlucky, or not good enough, you're effectively instructing your subconscious to find evidence to confirm those beliefs. On the other hand, if you adopt an empowered, possibility-driven mindset, your subconscious rises to the challenge, scanning the horizon for the slightest glimmer of opportunity. Let's tackle self-talk first. The internal chatter you maintain is more potent than any external advice or motivational speech. Every time you mutter, "I can't afford this," or "I'll never catch a break," you create neural pathways that reinforce that sense of limitation. Start catching yourself when negative phrases slip out. Reframe them into something expansive yet believable. Instead of, "I can't afford it," try, "I'll find a creative way to finance it." Instead of, "I'll never be rich," say, "I'm open to wealth in all forms." Over time, these subtle linguistic shifts reshape your default thinking patterns. But what about realism? Aren't we supposed to be honest about our finances? Yes, but being honest doesn't mean indulging in self-defeating declarations. It means acknowledging the facts while refusing to let them define your future. If your bank account is low today, that's a fact. But you can still hold the belief that tomorrow can change dramatically. This balancing act, facing reality without giving it the final say, allows your mindset to remain fluid and optimistic. Another facet is emotional regulation. Emotions can hijack even the best-laid plans. Fear, for instance, can freeze you just as you're about to seize a golden opportunity, or greed can tempt you into risky ventures that violate your intuition. Develop the skill of pausing, breathing, and evaluating your emotional state before making major decisions. Ask, am I acting out of alignment with my true values? If you are, step back and recenter. This habit prevents your mindset from becoming a roller coaster ride of impulsive highs and devastating lows. Don't neglect the power of setting boundaries. People might peddle negativity around you, complaining about the economy, forecasting doom, or mocking your aspirations. If you let that into your mental space unchecked, it can poison your mindset. Without being rude, you can limit your exposure to chronic complainers or doomsayers. Seek out communities where optimism and growth are celebrated. Your brain is malleable, constantly shaped by the stimuli it receives. Fill it with uplifting content, success stories, and practical strategies rather than apocalyptic headlines. Visualization is another tool to anchor a positive mindset. The mind thrives on sensory-rich imagery. Spend a few minutes each day picturing your desired financial future. Don't just see it, hear the sounds, feel the emotions, sense the textures. Let the excitement or gratitude wash over you as if it's already real. This exercise trains your brain to recognize opportunities that align with the picture you've created. Skeptics might call it daydreaming, but high achievers in every field, from athletes to entrepreneurs, employ visualization to mentally rehearse success before it manifests externally. Accountability is crucial too. Your mindset might be on fire today, brimming with possibility, but what about next week when a setback hits? Have accountability partners or mentors in your corner who gently remind you of the bigger picture. They'll catch you if you slip into doubt or self-sabotage. In turn, be that source of encouragement for someone else. When you teach or support another person's growth, you reinforce your own convictions, strengthening the neural networks that uphold your abundance mindset. Finally, let's talk about celebrating small wins. In the hustle for sudden wealth, it's easy to overlook minor progress. Maybe you saved an extra bit of money or sold a few products to new customers. By honoring these small victories, you build momentum. Celebrate them as proof that you're moving in the right direction. Conversely, if you dismiss them as insignificant, you're training your brain to ignore progress. That can sap motivation, making you feel stuck even when you're quietly advancing. Ultimately, your mindset is the security guard standing at the gateway of abundance. If that guard is hostile, suspicious, and quick to close the door, you'll miss golden opportunities knocking at your threshold. But if your mindset guard is curious, open-minded, and ready to explore, you'll invite in experiences that most people never even get close to. Cultivate that gatekeeper. Feed it optimism, discipline, and a dash of audacity, and you'll find sudden wealth becomes less of a miracle and more of a natural consequence of how you navigate life. Chapter 6. Activating the flow of financial miracles. Even the most practical individuals occasionally talk about luck or miracles. While some treat these as random flukes, others see them as orchestrated events, outcomes of an energetic or spiritual cause. This chapter zeroes in on how you can activate those financial miracles, not by blind hope, but through a deliberate partnership with the forces shaping your reality. One overlooked key is gratitude. People often reserve gratitude for after they receive something beneficial. But what if you flipped the script and felt grateful in advance, trusting that blessings are headed your way? This preemptive gratitude isn't about tricking the universe. It's about shifting your vibration. When you're genuinely thankful, your emotional state moves into alignment with abundance, preparing the ground for miracles to sprout. Start small. Each morning or evening, list 3 financial opportunities or blessings you're thankful for, even if they haven't manifested yet. Watch how quickly your perspective shifts from lack to possibility. Surrender is another puzzling concept for many. They mistake surrender for laziness or giving up. In truth, surrender means releasing the tight grip of control while still pursuing your goals. You do what you can, but you also acknowledge that a higher intelligence weaves through life. Imagine 2 rowers in a boat. One is you, rowing diligently, while the other is the universe, adjusting the current. If you insist on rowing against the current because you believe you must force results, you exhaust yourself. But if you pay attention to the flow, adjusting your strokes to match the universal current, you move faster with less effort. That synergy is the essence of miracles. Intentional acts of kindness can also trigger financial breakthroughs. This isn't about manipulating karma. I'll do good so I'll get money, but about expanding your capacity to give freely, thereby awakening a reciprocal energy in the environment around you. Donate a small portion of your earnings to a cause you believe in, or devote time to help someone in need. These acts are like seeds you plant in the collective consciousness, demonstrating that you understand the cycle of giving and receiving. Often, the universe responds in unexpected, generous ways, strengthening your belief in the miraculous. Let's not ignore the role of letting go of grudges or resentments. Holding on to bitterness keeps your energy anchored in the past, draining your creative potential and limiting your ability to spot new financial doors opening. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It means freeing yourself from the emotional bondage that stifles your growth. Whether it's an old business partner who double-crossed you or a friend who never paid back a loan, release that bitterness. Each time you do, you reclaim energy that can be directed toward innovation, collaboration, and sudden wealth. Another angle is respecting the natural cycles of your life. Sometimes you're in a season of preparation, learning, strategizing, laying foundations. Other times you're in a season of harvest, reaping the rewards of your work. Confusion arises when you try to harvest in a planting season or plant in a dormant season. Pay attention to patterns and signals in your life. If everything feels quiet or slow, maybe it's time to refine your skills, network, or reflect. When the pace quickens and opportunities appear left and right, seize them without hesitation. Aligning with these cycles is a form of wisdom that sets the stage for sudden expansions in wealth. Don't forget the discipline of consistent reflection. Too often we barrel forward chasing the next goal without pausing to integrate lessons from our experiences. Weekly or monthly check-ins, where you evaluate what's working, what feels stagnant, and what changes to make, keep your mind flexible and responsive. During these moments, insights can surface that lead to leaps in your financial life. This self-awareness might show you an overlooked niche in your business or highlight a pattern of self-sabotage that you can finally break. Spiritual cleansing can also accelerate miracles. Whether it's through meditation, breath work, or other forms of energetic release, cleansing helps you discard emotional debris. Think of it like clearing your computer's cache. If you never cleared it, the system slows down and new data gets jumbled. By regularly cleansing, you create a spacious internal environment where fresh possibilities can flourish. Picture each exhale as releasing stale beliefs and each inhale as welcoming new blessings. Embrace the possibility that miracles aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they manifest as subtle shifts, a phone call at just the right moment, a chance encounter with someone who becomes a major client, or a sudden stroke of clarity about how to triple your income. Each of these instances, while not as flashy as winning the lottery, is a piece of the miraculous tapestry weaving through your life. The more you tune in, the more you notice these tiny wonders popping up. Over time, they accumulate into a massive flood of abundance. At its core, activating financial miracles boils down to learning the dance between effort and grace, between intention and surrender. You do your part, keep your eyes open, stay grateful, and remain flexible. The rest is a collaboration with the universe, one that you can't fully control but can certainly invite and nurture. Once you find that sweet spot, you'll discover that the line between the mundane and the miraculous blurs, and financial surprises become an ongoing part of your journey rather than isolated flukes. Chapter 7. Becoming a guardian of your newfound wealth. The thrill of sudden wealth can be dazzling, but true security requires a shift in identity. You become a guardian of resources rather than a mere recipient. That means more than celebrating a windfall. It means preserving and growing what you've gained. Start by adopting a mindset of proactive stewardship. Yes, reward yourself briefly, but focus on using these resources wisely. A trusted financial advisor can guide you toward investments aligned with your goals and values. Emotional challenges may arise. Fear of losing your fortune or the lure of risky schemes can test you. Stay grounded by recalling the self-awareness that led to your success. If anxiety flares, identify whether it's a real warning or an old fear. If excitement about a new deal surges, double-check that your giddiness isn't masking impulse. Generosity acts like a circulatory system for wealth. When your resources flow through strategic donations, meaningful investments, or support for others, they multiply. This doesn't mean handing everything away. It means sharing deliberately, which wards off greed and amplifies joy. As your finances expand, so might your team. Accountants, advisors, and mentors can save you from burnout and mistakes. Embrace humility about what you don't know, focusing on what you do best, living your mission while your experts handle the complexities. Stay rooted in habits that bring genuine contentment. Sudden wealth can tempt you with expensive vices or fair-weather friends. Preserve what nurtures your soul, be it morning walks or heartfelt conversations, and don't let glittery social circles derail your authenticity. Communicate openly with loved ones. Rapid financial change may trigger unrealistic expectations or envy. Set clear, kind boundaries about what you can and can't offer. Share your reasons for managing money responsibly, ensuring relationships aren't strained by misunderstandings. Finally, think about legacy. If your fortune can outlast you, consider drafting a will or establishing a trust. Channeling your resources to serve others, even after you're gone, infuses your wealth with lasting purpose. Over time, you may discover new passions, philanthropy, mentorship, or deeper spiritual growth, affirming that money was never the ultimate prize but a tool for unlocking higher possibilities. By adopting these measures, you transcend the usual easy come, easy go narrative. You affirm that sudden wealth, approached with wisdom and heart, can lead to lasting prosperity, personal fulfillment, and broader upliftment. In doing so, you become not just fortunate, but a genuine student of abundance.